Hi everyone, Alina from Arcadier here. Today on Inspire, we have Edmond Ip.
Hello.
Edmond was previously Chief Operating Officer and Chief Advisor to Intercontinental Hotels Group Greater China, as well as Chairman of Greater China to Hilton, VP of Finance for Hyatt Hotels, and co-founder of Banyan Tree Hotels and Resort. He was also a board advisor to Dorset Hospitality Group leading up to the successful IPO. Currently, he is Vice Chairman and co-founder of Artyzen Hospitality Group, a hotel management company that creates hotels based on the philosophy of respecting local traditions and culture. He's a seasoned businessman and has created innovative brands in new niches in the already busy market of hospitality. Hi, Edmond. Great to have you. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you for the overstating introduction, but I just do my business. That's the thing that I think that should into the market. So I'm in the right place, the right time with the right people. So what I've achieved.
Well, we're very excited to have you and hear more about how you've been able to find these niches, and just to hear a little bit more about your experience and how you've been able to succeed and grow such successful businesses. So maybe we can start off with you just telling a little bit about yourself to everyone.
Okay. Before I joined the hospitality group, I was with a company called Pricewaterhouse. And I was an auditor.
Oh, that company.
Yes. During the time I was with Pricewaterhouse, I have the opportunity to learn a lot in various industry. And one of the industry really sort of inspired me and get me really interested is the hotels, where I have the opportunity to do a number of hotel audits. And I find this very interesting because not only the industry dealing with like other business I've been auditing with as a manufacturing, banking, whatnot, but this is a really people business, something that you integrate with people, with community, you interact with people. I think that gives me a great sort of interest, and I do love that opportunity if I ever be get into the industry. With that, somehow life takes a turn. Maybe I sort of following my sort of opportunity offered to me at the time. Hyatt was looking for people, where I was asked that we would like to join them. Without hesitation, I took the opportunity, and there I never turned back. I enjoyed the industry, I enjoyed the business, and that was back in 1970, early 1973. I never looked back, really. I think that throughout the years in the industry, I worked with Hyatt for 18 years. I worked in Asia Pacific for a good 6 over years. Then I was with Hyatt in London. I covered Europe, Middle East, Africa, and then I was in Chicago with Hyatt International Corporate Office as a VP Finance and involved with development globally. Back in 1989, I decided it's about time to come home. So I came back to Asia, Singapore, where I find my home. Then I started with an opportunity with a friend, a Banyan Tree Hotel and Resort. Because at that point of time, in the 1990, early 90s, there wasn't really much a resort for spa concept, because everybody thinks spa is a dirty word. It's
Why was it a dirty word?
It's a hanky-panky in a lot of people's mind. But through my own liking, or what you say, the experiences, that I travel around really places, it's hard to find a place that you can have your husband, your wife together, or a girlfriend, a boyfriend together to enjoy a session of a spa. People always think, you get a male and female in the one room, will have something funny happen. But But somehow you go around the world in those days, wherever you go, for a spa treatment or enjoyment of having a spa, always male one side, female on the other side. So I find there's an opportunity. If I, as a traveler, as a corporate executive, and I do know that how precious times are with your girlfriend, with your family to talk about, and you also want to relax. So I find there's a niche that you can open up a different type of world. It may not cover a more generic, normal travelers, but there's a need, there's a niche market you're looking at. So I started the idea, and then I convinced my partner, spa is not a dirty word. It will be a good business to go with. And my partner KP is very open-minded, and we move ahead, and we never turn back as a banyan tree, and it become one of the most successful brands globally as a resort hotel. I'm very proud of it, and they are successful at their own today. So that was how I started Banyan Tree. And full time, and also during the period, some of the company called Intercontinental Group as a Holiday Inn then asked me whether I would like to take a different view on business, running a different scale of product. It took me a long time to decide to join Holiday Inn at that point in time, before they changed the name to Intercontinental Hotel Groups, close to a year. Because it's tough to switch your mind from a luxury product to a more so-called a common product for a 4-star hotel, 3-star hotel. It's not I'm sort of snobbish about product or whatnot, but it's a mind shift on whether our ability, you get used to running a luxury product, will you have ability to run not so luxury product, because the pathology, the approach are different. But I also take a point that, well, there's something I need to learn about, I need to think about, and that is something you can do to improve on the 4-star market, customer base and product, etc. So I made a very conscious decision. Okay, I'll take a chance in running a different type of company, and I spent, without knowing it, 13 years with them. Then I think it was from a very small base, the Holiday Inn Group eventually become when I retired from Intercontinental Group, becomes one of the biggest hotel company in Asia Pacific in terms of number of hotels, and particularly in China. I spent a lot of energy to grow that market from to 29 hotels when I took over the company. Then when I retired, we opened 125 hotels. We have 400 hotels under construction at that point in time. So it is a very rewarding experience for me, and also a very rewarding job for me to see from a small base, from a not so nice product become a great product as a Holiday Inn brand, as a Crowne Plaza brand. We treat the Crowne Plaza to be a place to meet. We, at that point in time, I really take Crowne Plaza and a different approach, and no longer another better Holiday Inn. In those days, called Holiday Inn Crowne Plaza. I put it up as a place to meet. I purpose-built meeting room, and some people say I'm crazy to take out all the function facility and only cater for meeting. But in the market, even today, every hotel have a meeting place, but you always, I don't know, you guys experience it. You go down to a meeting space, you have the table fail, you have the pin. Then you move your leg, you just pin, get into your finger, get into your leg. Because people are half-heartedly doing a meeting facility. So I feel that if there's a thing that you want to do, you do well. You cannot make business as such that you cover every angle. So you focus 80-20 rule, right? So you spend all your energy looking to the 80% business you do well and do it perfectly well, corner the market, rather than to cover the 20%, spend 80% of your energy to do 20% and not that productive. So you need to forego some of the business that you're not good at, focus and build the business you're good at, and really corner the market. That's how Crowne Plaza was given praise to me. So it is something I go back to the business point is it's a niche market. You look at, you evaluate, you observe, you identify. Throughout my career, I do the same thing with a banyan tree, whether to do that. I think that is how I perceive it. That how we really look at business in general.
Okay, so on that topic, lots of information just shared. Talking about how you changed kind of the concept of how people look at, the word spa, previously dirty word, that you kind of changed. Now everybody loves to go to the spa.
Yeah, including myself.
Definitely not a dirty word. And then changing how, focusing on what you did best, or what like Crown Plaza in Holiday Inn did best, and kind of also creating that little niche for them to go into. And you talked about, evaluating the processes. How do you evaluate what you are good at and when you're not good at, and what to focus on?
I think it's more a lot of observation and understanding about your customer. I mean, at the end of the day, customer pay the bill.
Very true.
So you cannot, in the early day, a lot of business, including hotel here, I bill, you will stay, because that's what I'm expert, you are not. But I think the world is changing very quickly. People want to buy what they feel like to buy. People want to be comfortable with what they want to do. So you cannot just build something, say that this is it, you take it or leave it, people will live it. So to me, ultimately, is the observation about what customer trends going to be, what people want to have, want to buy, because they are the one paying the bill. So you cater thing for what people need, and they like it, they will pay a premium for it because that's what they want, right? So if you are ignoring that sort of observation, you are ignoring what the customer asking, and you go another direction, I don't see that you will be successful in that.
So in terms of hospitality, this is very specific, obviously, and not all reviewers are necessarily in hospitality, but there are possible, services that they're offering. How do you personally, or for your companies, get feedback other than just directly asking customers? How do you kind of find out that information?
Customer is one way. I think it's the observation of how people behave here, and I mean you cannot sit in the office and sending questionnaires, say what you like customer, what you don't like. But you ask people do not know what you are going to meet up with the expectation, because there's so many people have different requests, different type of preferences. But the trend of people, like example, people today want to travel not like the old day, a room to stay, and then you get out, you stay, eat in hotel, because in those days there are no places to eat. Most of the country that you visit, you don't feel safe because you don't understand the country, the place you're visiting. So today, people want to experience, people want to understand the culture, understand the heritage of the place. That's why people travel. Other than people want to travel for business, even people travel for business, they want to say, hey, if I'm going to A, B, and C places, other than doing business, hey, I have an extra hour, extra day, or extra weekend, I really want to find out, hey, what is this place all about? So I think even in our industry, whether the travel industry, airline, they're all looking at the customer. What is their preference? How their travel habit change? How people think that they want to spend their time with the family, with the loved one, with the kid. So you should understand those trends. The trend is observation, right? And you can see all the people buying things. You're still designing the skirt 50 years ago, and people will not buy. But the old trend coming back, maybe people are now buying the skirt 50 years ago. But mini skirt was one stage very popular. Suddenly mini skirt disappear, right? So the trend change. So you don't follow the trend, your business will be having a big challenge. So change to me is a thing that is inevitable. Change is always there, but you need to adopt the changes to the best how you serve your customer. Then you will be finding a better base of business, rather than you cannot keep on what you have and say, I don't change because this is the best. I think it's the best, but the customer don't think so, that you're still a failure. Right?
So on the topic of change in viewing trends, obviously you have had a wealth of experience in the hospitality industry. So 40 years, seeing trends, being able to know customers and kind of observe them and understand them really well. Do you think that, obviously our viewers aren't necessarily going to have 40 years experience like yourself. So what advice would you give to them in order to kind of disseminate what trends are happening, or do they need to be industry experts, or how do they become one?
I don't agree with what you say. 40 over years that experience. The experience only teach you what mistake you make. You try not to make the same mistake. It's not that I have 40-year business experience. I know the trend. I don't. The trend is you and I can observe the trend. I'm not, because of the past trend I can predict or I can observe the future. The today trend is for you today to observe. It's not for me for 40 years that give me advantage. The advantage for me for my business, that 40 experience, only allowing me say, hey, I've seen it, I make a mistake, or I've seen other people make a mistake, I won't want to make the same mistake. So I'm more cautious how to approach to address the changes, how to create another set of value that can fit into the market, can fit in the customer. It's not that I have advantage over anybody else observing the trend. The trend is everybody can see. It's not only exclusive to me because I have 40 years of experience. So don't worry, guys, that you guys are as good as me, but you may even better because you are younger in thinking. I'm old in fashion.
Young in thinking, old in fashion. Well, obviously not too old in thinking, since you're still able to find all these new niches.
Yeah, in a way, I think if you keep, for that, it's not because of, I still go back to one point. What you do, you go back to your passion. If you are passionate enough for what you want to do, you will also find out a new idea because you're passionate about it. You know that you can do something better because you're so passionate about it. So I think passion is one of the elements for you to be successful. If you have a business you're not passionate about it, it's like, okay, so be it. It's done. Right? So you don't have this energy behind to drive to make it better. Each step of it, each stage of it.
So on that vein, as passion being one of the main drivers, what are the other kind of main drivers you see as main successful points for people to?
I think really observation of the trend, observation of people, your customer need, your customer conveniences, that what they want to do and how they want to do. So that why all the iPhone happening, Huawei happening, all the other things are happening, that because they observe what are the people wanting to have for their next stage of phase of life.
Whether it's better aesthetics,
yes,
or more hardy. Wonderful. On the subject of passion and success, obviously sometimes markets can be very saturated, and during these past 40 odd years you've been working in hospitality, obviously there's been tons of growth in the hotel industry, and a lot of disruptors as well. How do you find these new niches in such a saturated market? Do you ever think a market can be too saturated to find a niche?
I don't believe the market the market will always be crowded, because when there's money to be made, people will jump in the bandwagon. That's life. But there's always, as I talked about earlier, changes is inevitable. Changes mean that there's a need of buying habit, there's a need of changing of different type of buying, traveling, different type of experience the people are expecting. So there always, somewhere along the way, the market will give you an opportunity. If you observe, as I go back to observe, the observance is important part of it. But the market changes. You talk about just now the disruptor. Disruptor is a change. So how you counter the disruption about the industry? So you need to find a niche to creating that value. Now I get back to you about the last 40 years, hotel industry, so many hotels, so many people come up with different brand, different product. You ask me, how the hell can you really get into the market, we're so oversaturated, isn't it? I still would say no, because there's always a different thing that you can cater for a certain segment of the people or the traveler. Because I observed, let's say, when I started with Artyzen, I look at culture, art, and heritage, but people talk about this all the time. But how many people actually dive deep into this three element? It's not just putting an art on a painting on the wall that is art. It's not heritage serving a Chinese tea become a culture of a Chinese product. It's not. There's much more into the depth of each thing. If people want to experience certain things, they're not looking at the art piece alone. So there's certain you arise the interest, there's certain things to provide them the experiences. Now when we do example, we do Artyzen, we have brand called Artyzen Habitat. People go there, which we look at the market, look at the changes of people using, where they used to go office, the Starbucks syndrome about people going to Starbucks. There's a trend down there that people want to share. It's a shared economy. It's the integration of customer. It's the inclusion of friends, making new friends, but more casual rather than walking in the hotel rigidly. You can't even talk loud because you're worried to disturb someone else. So we create Artyzen Habitat. We don't have a lobby. We have a town square where I can do pop-up store, I can do TED Talk, I have a TED Talk. I have a restaurant you can buy. You can sit around anywhere to eat. I have a takeout store. I have a converted in the bar. You walk in, it's just like a town square. You go to other places that you can hang around. You can do your laptop. You can do your business. Integrated. Everything you make friends. If really weekend we have someone want to come and do a trade show, pop up their product. They have meeting to talk to customer. You can do everything. Rather than the traditional hotel lobby, the thing. So it is a market that you can create a niche different from the other, even a crowded place as a hotel, right? So I think that is a lot of time is how much you really dive deep into a niche rather than the services on the surface of it. One have to dive deeper into the product you deliver, the product you also develop, cater for the niche, for the trend, for the needs of the people. Then you always create a different product.
Do you think it's ever possible to make too narrow of a product where your niche is just not very viable because it's almost too small?
There never be. There are times you have to observe that, but on the flip side of it, you can't keep everybody happy.
Yeah.
You cannot say that, I want to cater for everybody. So you need to identify your niche market, who you serve. Back to the example of banyan tree. People say that, you guys, the banyan tree team is really unfriendly with family because I don't have kids facility. I don't allow kids to come into the resort. People ask me why you're so unfriendly with the family. I say no. I have a market. I'm charging people a lot of money for an exclusive resort spa. Just imagine if I allow kids coming around screaming, running around everywhere. You think my customer will come back? So I can only serve one segment of the business. If I want a family business, I design a product for the family that they can enjoy. If I want the exclusive for a spa resort, for people who really want to relax, want to have a loved one together, with the honeymoon, they don't want to disturb with the kid coming yelling and screaming, running around. So they never be able to do a business, a cater for everybody.
Yeah, sometimes you have to sacrifice one sector to focus
it's
on
a 20/80. At the end of the day, you cannot say, I want every piece of the cake. You can't. You won't have more of a piece of cake that you can make most use of it.
So on that subject, how did you know, or how do you advise everybody to kind of see, obviously doing premium, high luxury spa, you had to make the call to, drop families. How do you know, which other sectors or demographics you might have to rein back on in order to focus on one?
I think this is, they go back to observation. It's not that I know, I don't. I observe what I want to do. I develop a product, what I believe in it.
Was there a trial and error period where you did allow people?
I think you try and error costs a lot of money. You cannot, in my business, I cannot try and error. You try error is $100 million, so it's a very intensive capital product that you're developing. So you can't be try and error. You really have to work out, think through what you want to do, because you're asking people to invest a substantial sum of money. They have to believe in you. If you are say I do a try and error, you're not, sorry mate, $100 million gone. you will never do any business again.
So how do you develop?
I think you have to get. I mean, I'm not a genius by myself to do everything. I can't. So you need a team collectively to brainstorm, to understand, to argue, agree, disagree, and move on the next stage of thinking, and design together with everybody else. It cannot be. It's not a single person can do everything, but I may have the experience, like you say, for the idea. I've seen a lot, but at the end of the day, it's a team effort to make it work.
Okay, so back to observation, because this is something that you keep on bringing up, and it's been throughout our talk now, like that it is extremely, extremely important. That it is something that we've heard time and again, is to observe your customers and get that perspective. How can people do this? What's some practical advice you can give? Or should they be like reading papers, doing research?
I think everything is helpful. I mean, there's no fixed rule. You might read book, whatnot. I mean, I read a lot. I read across all kind of article, all kind of thing, because that will inspire you to dive in. When you read multiple things, suddenly with your own knowledge, own experience, you get, maybe I should look at that. Because the more sort of thing you read about different type of topic, different type of field, then it gives you more idea, more knowledge. I mean, you may not have it today, get the knowledge, get the idea, but one day you recall back those knowledge and say, but I see something else, that I can link the dots together. So to me, there are no fixed rule, read books or not, but there are things that I should say that observe everything, read everything available. Don't say that I only read A, I don't want to know about B. I read everything, may not be to my relevant my business, but I say, like fashion trend, I read, I look at magazine, nice. But I read not just today, but one day I say, when I do a hotel, why don't we? Because people like this type of color. Why can't my furniture in the hotel? I just give an example.
I think that's a very good point. I think a lot of times entrepreneurs, new business owners can be so focused on their industry and what they're doing that sometimes they have blinders on to everything else, and that it could really help and influence their product themselves. I think that we all hear this story of Steve Jobs doing calligraphy and how that kind of helped with the whole spacing and everything of typography. Do you think that finding a niche is necessarily the same as finding your competitive advantage?
Yes, they're the same.
Yep.
Yeah, you find a niche because that you want to be better than the competitor. So it's a competitive advantage. So they're the same thing. But you find a competitor, what can you do better is a niche.
And then how can you prevent, I don't know if prevent's the right word, but obviously once you come out in your new niche, how do you keep on differentiating yourself or keep on succeeding? Because since now your idea is out in the market, how can you?
There always be copycats. There always people follow you. But you just have to keep on innovating, keep on finding a further step to be different. Because you can't stop that. Because whatever today you have is already old. So you need to find what tomorrow to be, right? So your today maybe last for whatever time. People say, this is the thing. Then I say, people look at thing is good, they jump on bandwagon. That's why you can see why duplicate or copycat in hotel product.
So I'm curious because obviously hospitality, touches on a lot of aspects of life, and you kind of see consumer behavior over many facets. Where do you see consumer behavior heading, or what trends do you see happening currently?
There are different segments. There are still people who want to be a luxury. They want to pamper. They want to have all the things on the finger. Some people. I don't want. I want to be self-check-in, self-check-out. I don't want anybody to disturb me. So it is a different type of traffic, different type of customer base. So they're not a trend I can say that everybody will go B and C. That's why in any hotel company today, they also cater for different grade of product.
With different brands.
Different brand of the product, different provision of the product.
I mean, that also is very that's also part of, technology and how we have different consumers. Sometimes they want to do self-service, sometimes they need a little bit more help. You have the different tiers of your subscriptions. So how do you, on that subject of consumers and, catering to different ones, how do you first find that first group of consumers that you want to go after?
I don't think you find the first group. You find out what can make you survive. The first thing is that, hey, if I do a certain product, how is it this product will survive? Like whether a hotel. If I build a hotel, I say, okay, my market segment is only 100 people. I can't survive that. But I have 10 million people like that, or I think there's a trend of people will use my product because of all the elements that people are using today identify, but they have not put in one place. Like Airbnb. A lot of people using Airbnb, there are millions of people using Airbnb. Why? There are millions of people using Starbucks, and they're everywhere. Why? So I think, these are the consumer that I can put together in my place. I can cater for everything under the roof, one roof, and then keep providing the conveniences. People don't have to pop up to here to go here, but you come in here, you have your everything that was I earlier talked about in terms of the town square. Say that you go little town, you can have your coffee, you can your pop-up store, you can do your TED Talk, you can do your fashion show you want to. So it is something that you look at, I can survive with that.
So on the subject of Artyzen, it is a very unique concept where it is, very local, where you focus on local traditions, local culture. And, we keep on, for Arcadier, we see that there's a lot of hyper-local, hyper-vertical marketplaces being built. Do you think that this is a global trend where people want to be closer to smaller communities and local communities?
I think at the moment, yes, people tend to want to have different experiences because people want to experience culture, art, and local so-called tradition, heritage. So there is people want to find out the past. That's why people travel today. In the past, people travel for business. Today, people travel for experience and learning. So there's a slightly different trend today. People go out, I want to go to have an experience to go to A, B, and C places. It's not somewhere that I need to go because I have to do my business alone. So it's a difference.
All right, so on the subject of learning, I have one last question for you, which is, what's one piece of advice that you'd like to share with everyone today?
Learning.
Well, they're learning from you.
I don't know. No, I say at the end of the day, to me, it's observation, it's customer focus, and your passion. And you identify really what is valuable to people who want to buy into the product. So it's a lot of understanding, and also you need not only you alone, you need people as a group of people to really flesh out idea, to consolidate what you have in mind. An idea is only an idea until you flesh out all the other area that you cannot be put in practice. So you yourself, you are looking at your own without other people to inject disagreement or agreement. You won't know whether the direction is correct. You only look at a single lane. So you get multiple lanes to get more identity about what the market is all about, what the people are about, what your idea about. They're good, they're bad, and how to iron out. And as I say, you want to be successful, you need to understand a proper business plan, the up and the down. And you need to be honest about what you're going to do and talk to the the investors you are looking forward to have. There are no formula of success itself that you do A, B, and C. They're not 101 of success. There's no such thing. So I think there's a lot of time you need to really sit back and think through and go through the process of observation, training, and you're passionate about what you do, and put energy behind it. There's no guaranteed success, but as I say, you don't take the first step, there's no next step. So how
Hard
do you
work
know,
and passion.
Yeah, how do you know they're not successful? But you may be successful. But if you fail, doesn't matter. Go back again to do another one. But you keep on trying. I mean, if everything is so easy, the first thing you do is successful. So the world, there's no failure. There's always a failure. Right? There's also a lucky one, timing-wise, that sometimes you may have something you want to do, but timing is wrong. It's a crisis economic in the world. Whatever great idea you have, no one's going to invest in you. Right? When the market is so booming, any crap idea people will buy. That's the truth of life. So sometimes timing is also important.
All right. Do you have any other advice that you would like to share today?
No, try. Best of luck.
All right.
Trying.
Well, you heard it from Edmond. Keep on trying. Find something that you're passionate about, and lots of hard work and homework.
Yeah. Nothing free. You need to work on it.
All right. Well, that's all that we have for today. Thank you, Edmond, so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Anybody wanted to get in contact with you, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Email me better.
Email you? All right. We will put his email at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Edmond, again.
Thank you.
And thank you, everyone, for tuning in on today's session of Inspire. Until next time, be inspired.